So guys, this is my weekly report for August 3rd. Give you a little update of what I did this week. Right now, I'm out in the field. I'm actually varmint hunting, trying to eliminate some of these coyotes that are chewing up my buddy's water lines out on his ranch. I do a lot of eradicating for coyotes. And I got my PCP air gun and tried to call one in. I saw one this morning out about 200 yards, but I didn't get a shot at it. He didn't come in. Got too much breeze, and he's just a little smarter than I was. So other things I did this week, Monday, I was out down in Delta and caught a lot of bass and stripers. Had probably one of my better days on chatterbaits in the grass, and then in a lot of current. Other things I did, I went to Union Valley yesterday and went with Denise, her mom, and Tom, and we caught 20 cokes, and they were 14 to 16 inches. So kokanee fishing has been pretty good, solid, in our local lakes. Other things, the hottest thing going on is still bluefin tuna. Everybody's got that itch to want to go out and tackle one of these big guys, but the weather hasn't let anybody out in the last 2.5 weeks. There's been really rough seas out there, and nobody could get out there. And there's a lot of tuna out there, but there's not catching them. If you watch my last video, James Smith on the Caldon 2 is going to start doing trips. So he's going to be doing trips where, overnight, where they go out and jig for them and then troll in the daytime. But the only thing is around here up north is that weather permits, when they could get out and do this. So if you want to do it, so you don't have to drive all the way to San Diego, you can give Caldon 2 a call, and they put you on a list, and you have to, when they notify you, you have to be ready to go within 2 or 3 days. So, it's going to be something. I think there's a lot of fish out there, and I think when he does that nighttime jigging, I think it's going to open up a lot of eyes to fishermen, so you could get out there and actually do some bluefin tuna right in our backyard. Halibut, North Bar has been really good if you could get out there, but it's been really tough getting out there. You want to be in 30 to 40 feet of water, and you want to drift live anchovies, on that setup. I did the video on it. You could go back and look at it, but you just use a dropper, and whatever weight takes you to keep it pretty close to the bottom and close to the boat, and drift those live bait. You'll get limits of halibut pretty easy. If the weather doesn't permit, you could always go in the bay. They're still catching a ton of fish in the bay. They're just a little smaller grade. So the ones on the North Bar seem to be in that 15-pound class, and the ones inside are, the ones that you have to measure, 22, 24-inch fish. But there's a lot of fish available. A lot of the stripers have taken off out of there, out of the bay. They went outside the gate and around the corner to the beaches, and they'll usually stay out there until maybe September, and then make their way back in the Delta. But right now, I know people that are on the beach over there at Pacifica, casting irons or jerk baits on topwater lures and catching a lot of stripers. You want to get big ones? Go at night. They've been catching some monster stripers out there on the beach. Other than that, inside the bay, like I said, halibut they're still selling live bait, and that's probably the target there. There's still some juvenile stripers in the bay, those keepers up to like 5 pounds. The majority of the big ones have already gone outside around the corner. Haven't heard anything on sea bass. Usually they're catching some by now, but everything seems to be just a little bit late this year. Other than that, I know you can still catch sturgeon over in the Martinez area. There's still stripers in the Delta system. I've been catching a lot of them. The biggest one I caught this week was about 8 pounds, but they're pretty plentiful when you find them. And I'm catching all mine on chatterbaits. Another thing on the tuna scene, there are some local guides that are going to be doing trips also. I think Steve Mitchell, Ricky Acosta, Jay Lopes, I think when weather permits, I think they're all going to go out and do this because of the opportunities there. So down in the Delta, I know some guys, Mark Wilson, those guys have been trolling. You're going to use something like a shallow runner or rattle traps and throw in that probably 4 to 8 feet of water. They're catching them. I'm catching all my fish in 1 to 3 feet. So they're up there feeding, and I mean, I don't know if these are local fish or what's going on, but you can catch some stripers if you put your homework in there. Other than that, shad scene's kind of dying off. It's kind of getting over. Season ended. There's always local stripers in American River. I know the guys at the shop are catching stripers right before dark and throwing S-wavers or topwater. They're hooking some big ones, but those are just fish that live in that river. Other than that, your lakes have been pretty decent. Don Pagnelli's been fishing Folsom and Berryessa. They're catching a lot of bass. I know all the lakes should be doing pretty good right now. Trout. Big Nate still catching trout at Comanche. This is really getting late in the season, but he's still catching them. He's up at Amador, and I think he's up at Pardee, catching a lot of kokanee, trout. Like I said, my brother went to Buller's Bar, caught limits, and they're getting bigger there. They're 12 to 13 inch. A friend of mine went to Whiskey Town, caught some nice ones there. There's just a lot of fish in the system. Like I said, I went to Union Valley, and we caught some nice great fish. They're really thick, and the meat is really, really red. So, I've been chasing kokanee a little bit. Friends of mine have been going Stampede. They're having, 30 to 50 fish days up there. Everywhere seems to be doing really good. If you want a big one, go to New Melones, but they're not real plentiful. You might have to work really hard to get your limit. But other than that, I think Shasta might be somewhere to try. Not a lot of people have been going up there, but it's probably worth going up there. Other than that, everything's pretty much the same. This Saturday, I'm in the studio on California Sportsman's. It's on the AM dial at 11:40. So I'll be on the whole show. So if you want to tune in on your way fishing, put it on 11:40 and check it out. If you like this video, please hit the like. Please subscribe because you help me out a lot. And if you want to leave me a comment, hit that button on the bottom and then leave me a comment. I'll get back with you in a few days. And other than that, oh yeah, I'm going to come out with a clothing line here real quick. So I'm going to have t-shirts, hats, and sweatshirts available. And it's probably going to be done through email. Contact me through email to alanfongoutdoors.com or fishfong@aol.com. So, see you guys next week.